Now this is the payoff here. This is what you get for all your hard work. Hey, this is Brett, Swofford Homestead. Got a little different video today. Going back to a cooking video. I make videos about planting sorghum, about growing sorghum. I did make a video about cutting it because we had to do that off and on. But we made one about the press. Made a video about pressing sorghum and the juice coming out. Now we're going to make one about cooking the sorghum and making molasses. We're going to caramelize it and actually make molasses. Sorghum syrup's a little sour, but I'd rather have the sweeter version of it, the darker version. We're not going to do it outside. I don't have the equipment set up. This is our first year at it. We're going to do it on the cook stove in the house. I know it takes a while, but we don't have that much of it left. I've already cooked some of it and kind of played with the temperatures and figured out what I want to do. And we do it a little different than what you do outside because it is inside and the pan's smaller and it's a smaller amount of juice. Got to be careful here how I say this. But we're going to put it on the cook stove. I've got a kind of a large diameter pan. Got a good base in the bottom. Should be enough to caramelize the sugar, but we're going to have to do it in steps because we don't have the large pan and we're not using large quantities. We're not able to cook it before it will caramelize and thicken together. But I'll show you the steps we're going to take to get the color that I want and the consistency of the molasses, the thickness I want. Go join us. Okay, get started here. This is my sorghum juice. There's somewhere between 2.5 and 3 gallons here. Of course, I've got a gallon jug here, and I'm not sure exactly what that pot is. It's either 10 or 12 quart, and it's over half full. So we're pushing probably 2.5 gallons anyway. I'm not going to measure it. Don't really make much difference because the final product's what goes in the jars anyway, and you never know exactly how much it's going to evaporate, but it's probably a 10 to 1, 8 to 1, somewhere in there. A gallon of juice will make close to a pint. I'm hoping I get 2 pints out of this. What's left I will put in another jar to eat. But this green juice, see if I can pick this up. I've let it sit for 24 hours. You see the white ring there. That's some of the stuff that settles out of it. It will not, you cannot strain it out. You could probably put it through cheesecloth or something and probably get it cleaner, but I'll run it with a strainer anyway. Make sure there ain't no trash or anything got in it, because the pressing of the cane will cause sometimes a little trash to fall off. Even though I can try to keep the top on it, it can still get in it somehow. That stuff's sticky to begin with. The juice here is sticky already. But I'm thinking to put it in this pot. It's the widest pot I got as far as the base. Got me something to strain it off. Get the junk off the top. Strain it. I'm going to put it on the stove and get started. Just to show you my little strainer, I've got a really fine handheld strainer. And I put about half that in this pan. I'm dark in this whole house. We'll work with it. It's just got a dull green color to it. What I'm talking about layering, I'm going to start out with this half gallon. I'm going to cook this half gallon down until it starts getting thick and starts getting the brown color. Then I'm going to add to it. We're going to cook it down again. It's the quickest way I found to get the brown color I want and the consistency I want and still make it sweet. Because if you don't cook it long enough, you don't actually make molasses. If you leave it in a syrup form, it's still got a green, can have a green tint to it, and it's sour, salty like flavor. I'd rather have a little more sweet and a little stronger molasses flavor. We're going to let this get hot. I set stove to about 7. It's not a hard boil, it's a simmer. It will ripple a little bit. It's a slow process, but it's good stuff at the end. What we do on it then, if I can get this where you can see it, this is some I had left over. I put it in a jar. Of course, I don't have to worry about storing this. I'll take care of it myself, you know. It's got a good dark color and it's thick and it's sweet. It don't have the sour flavor or the salty like note to it that the green does. I'll turn the camera back on. We get to go. Get it rolling here. You can see it's simmering. It's not boiling. It's steaming. You see a little ripple, a little bubble here and there. It's slowly breaking it down. Well, I forgot to include a while ago. This is the final product's kind of like caramelizing sugar. You got any the candy cooks or the people that make caramel pies and things like that. This is kind of the same thing here. Caramelizing that then. That's why you get the brown color. But you know how touchy that is on temperature and time. When it starts forming, you just scoop out the impurities and let it foam. And we're going to have to test this. We don't want it to get too far along. We want it to start turning brown but not go to the full caramelization. We're setting layers of color here. Now hardly to the syrup stage. It won't coat the spoon. Get that in the light. You see it's still green. Made a double line. That means we're at the next stage. We're a little bit past this simple syrup. It's time to add more juice. We'll just wash it down with it. I done filtered this. Just starts the process over. Remember to stir occasionally. You can tell the color's already changing. It's got a beige color instead of a green color already. Each time it'll get darker. Keep a watch on it, keep it stirred. We'll turn the camera back on after I go through all the multiple stages. I've got probably 2 more stages before we get to the final one. I'll show you how I finish it. Well, I think I'm down to the last stage here. It's gotten pretty thick. Got a little brown tint to it. I'm going to pour the last bit in. I've been putting somewhere between a half and 3/4 of a gallon of new juice at a time. Stirring it in. Now that we're starting to brown it, stirring's the important part. Got to get it mixed. Got to keep it stirred so it'll stick to the bottom and stick to the sides. If I can get back in the light here, we can see. I added that green to it, and it's already a light brown color. We've been building a good color. I think that was the 4th time I've added to it. Which this time when I cook it down, I've got to cook it down to the consistency I want, and it should be dark brown. Should be molasses color. Well, I've got it to a good consistency now. It's starting to be thick, starting to hang on the spoon, starting to drip, and I think we're at the cut the temperature off stage. Now I'm going to let this settle just a minute. I'm going to scoop it up and put it in the jars, and I'll turn the camera back on when I get my jars full, and I'll show you the total I got out. Well, I'll show you what's left of the sorghum I got out of the garden. I've ate a little bit of it. Be right back. Well, here's what we got out of that cooking today. 2.5, 3 gallons made 2 pints, well, almost 3 pints. That's 2 3/4 pints. So them are quarter. And this is what I've made before. These 2, 3.5 pints. Got about 6 pints out of planting 100 seeds. Overall, it's a big undertaking, but it's really good stuff. I think we've done well for this test this year. I probably will plant it again next year. I don't know that I'll plant much more unless I can increase the speed and the power of the press I've got, and a way to cook it a little faster, because cooking in the house ain't the most ideal conditions, but hey, it works. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Hope you stayed to the end. Like or subscribe. Take care. God bless.